I lived in Detroit after the Army and had gone to graduate school, and then later I taught school in Michigan. And I got a phone call one day and a fellow said, "I don't know why I'm calling you, but a man told me if I didn't know who to call, give this guy a call and he might be able to help you." And I said, "Well, I guess you've got the right number." And so I used to get kind of unusual phone calls. One day I got a call from Chicago where a fellow was on his way to London, and he was in charge of a project for General Motors. And he said, "I want you to meet me in Chicago, and I'm flying to London, but you can ride with me to New York, and between Detroit and New York I'll tell you what the project is, and then you can get off and work on it, and I'll go on to my appointment." And so what it was, the fellow named John DeLorean, that was one of the executives of General Motors at that time, his daughter was graduating from college, and Chevrolet was coming out with a new small car called a Chevette. And so he concluded that the Chevette would be a good car for a first car for college graduates if they could drive it for a couple of years and then turn it in and get a larger, more expensive car. And so he asked me, or this fellow asked me, to put together a leasing proposal for college students where they wouldn't have to qualify except having a degree. And they could go into any Chevrolet dealer in the United States and just turn this form in, and it gave them permission to lease a car for this price for 2 years. And after that, they could either buy it out or turn it back in and get a new car. And so they gave me the advertising company Campbell Ewald to work with, and then some of the Chevrolet executives to help with the project. And so my office in Detroit was where we were coordinating the activity, and a lady named Mary Chaplicki worked there. And these people were all standing around. They didn't seem to have anything to do, and there were Kelly girls there waiting to have something to do, and so they were puzzled, and they asked Marie, said, what's going on here? And Marie said, "Well, there's a guy named Charlie Jones who's getting on a plane in Washington about now, and in about an hour and 30 minutes he'll walk in the door, and as soon as he gets here everything will start to make sense." Now, I didn't learn about that until much later. And so I walk in the door of the office and we start doing this and this and this and getting everything going, and we finish the project and turn it over to the printer and have these 800,000 proposals mailed out to these 800,000 graduates. And after everything had gone out, and then they would just take that into any Chevrolet dealership. And after that went out, there was a fellow named Eustace that had given me the project. And he called me and he said, "Well, I had no idea that you would mail the proposal out without checking back with me." And I said, "Well, Eustace, have you ever heard of an animal called a mule?" And he said, "Yes, I know what a mule is." And I said, "Well, the way it works, you kind of tell a mule to giddy up, and he starts going. And then when you want him to stop, you say, 'Whoa.'" Nobody said "whoa" to me. And he just kind of laughed, and so that was it.
Cut.